Okay, I'm so excited. This one took a little bit of coordinating to get UF online here to share with us their center-centric approach. I would like to present to you Dr. Pollard, LaKendra Cook, and Nicole Rose, and I see Rachel Cook is here. She's using Rachel. No, there's two cooks. Okay. All right. Please, I'm just going to turn the floor over to you, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thanks. I'm Rhiannon Pollard, the Associate Director for Academic Strategies for UF Online. And I just want to offer, since there's just one of you here, Giovanni, if you want to just have a conversation, we can certainly do that as we go through here. So feel free to pipe up anytime. So my role in this presentation is to kind of give a little bit of the background of UF Online, what we do, maybe a little bit of how we came to be. So Rachel, if you want to advance, that'd be great. So depending on where in Florida you're located and kind of what situation, what kind of institution you are at, you may already know a little bit of the history of UF Online. So we came to be in 2014 through legislative call to universities for preeminent online university, and UF Online's proposal was selected. So our mission really is to offer students high quality, fully online baccalaureate degree programs at an affordable cost. It's all pretty neatly summed up in that one statement. So what we do is we have a centralized office where we help programs administer their programs in a fully online format. And so what happens for students is that they actually apply not to UF residential, but to a separate application process that is exclusively for online programs. And within that, they have no obligation to come to campus. And they actually pay lower tuition than our residential students because many of the fees that residential students pay related to transportation, student activities, recreation, things like that, online students don't have to pay because they don't have access to utilize those services. So their tuition is approximately 40% less than what a residential student pays, which is great because a lot of our students are returning to college after either working for a while or having finished their AA but never went on to the bachelor's degree. So our population of students is pretty non-traditional, and it's nice to be able to offer them a lower cost option while they can continue to work and raise their families and do all the things that they need to do without moving to Gainesville. So one of the key tenets of our programs are that we have the same faculty. And what that means is that while a lot of higher education institutions that have an online branch, it's sort of a separate institution within their university. And with UF Online, that's actually not the case at all. So the same faculty teach our residential courses as teach in UF Online, and actually teach many online courses that are also offered to residential students. So it's a really integrated model. So even though students apply specifically to be in UF Online versus residential, the operations of the academics and the programs and the services that we offer students are seamless with residential. And I think that's a pretty unique situation for those students. Rachel, you could advance. Thank you. So the options that students have when they apply to be part of UF Online is a selection of the bachelor's degrees that are currently offered on campus. So UF right now, I think, has over 300 majors for residential undergrads. And we've worked with the colleges and departments to select specific bachelor's degrees that are either appropriate for online delivery or have really high demand and need the additional student audience to be able to access them. And sometimes we have some strategic initiatives, for example, related to the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, which is a program that's specifically geared towards practicing nurses who want to earn their bachelor's degree to get promotions and things in their field already. So we have some strategic areas of which bachelor's degrees we offer, and then we have some more kind of, humanities, the computer science programs, things like that. And this list is growing, but we kind of pride ourselves on ensuring and on having it small enough so that we can really give attention to those programs and work with the faculty and make sure that the online delivery is as high quality as possible. And then in addition to the 25 bachelor's degrees, we also have 14 minors that students can choose while they're in UF Online. And so right now we have over 5,000 students in UF Online and about the same number as alumni who have graduated from the program in the past. And we do also, in addition to the transfer students, the first time in college students, the UF Online applicants in general, UF also has a unique program where students, it's called PACE, which is Pathways to Campus Enrollment, which is that students who applied to be residential students can have the option of doing their first 2 years in UF Online and then transitioning to campus later, so they can get some of their gen eds and courses like that out of the way at a lower cost, which also helps UF with capacity issues for incoming freshmen. And then once they've cleared their general education requirements, they transition to being residential students. So we do have a pretty large population of those as well. Maybe around 700 to 1,000 a year usually are PACE admits who join us for UF Online, get to enjoy all the things that the UF Online students receive, and then eventually become residential students. So thank you, Rachel, you can advance now. So I mentioned a little bit about how we have the same faculty who teach the courses in UF Online and residentially. And so what we do when we say it's a faculty-driven program, one of the core activities of our centralized office, and specifically my team, is that we actually work with faculty to help them conceptualize, design, and deliver their online courses in a format that is, research-based, evidence-based, student learning's outcomes-based, to really drive home the rigor of the online program. And we do that by having our faculty work with instructional designers in a pretty intensive way. So it's kind of a situation where the faculty member brings their syllabus to the instructional design unit, and then they have help every step of the way, creating the content, recording multimedia, making their PowerPoints, getting everything put together in Canvas in a really user-friendly way, checking for accessibility, all of these things through the Center for Online Innovation and Production, as well as other instructional design units on campus. And so that's a really key part of what we do, is kind of helping faculty understand what resources are available to them and supporting them in getting their needs met so that they can teach online in the most effective way. We also support departments and programs and department chairs in terms of when they come to us and they say, hey, we're thinking about putting our major in UF Online, how do we do that? And so it's our job as a centralized team to help facilitate the actual process of moving a major into UF Online, getting the state approvals worked through, making sure that there's a plan for timelines as far as when are the courses going to be developed, when are they going to be launched, all of that stuff. So we do a lot of the administrative heavy lifting for the programs so that they can really focus on the academics. We also encourage and support faculty to get professional development for online teaching. We have a Center for Teaching Excellence here at UF that does amazing trainings and workshops for faculty development for both residential teaching, scholarship of teaching and learning, and online teaching and learning. And of course, we use the UF plus QM standards in all of our courses. So we have online course quality designation processes that I'm sure all of you are very familiar with at this point in time. And so we have our own set of standards above and beyond the Quality Matters rubric that we use to help evaluate and ensure that students are getting the best possible academic quality. And so to be a faculty-driven program, ultimately our students are the final beneficiaries of all of the work that we do. But in order to meet the students' needs in the best possible way, we really have to support faculty in getting there with the academics. And so I think from here, LaKendra is going to talk to us a little bit about the student success and the student support initiatives. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is LaKendra Cook. I'm the Student Experience and Engagement Manager here at UF Online. I'm going to speak a little bit about our student-centric and holistic approach to supporting our students. Before I dive into that a little bit, just to reiterate what Dr. Pollard mentioned earlier, we currently have about 4,000 students enrolled. But who are our students? We have 46% that are part-time, 54% full-time. So knowing that our students are joining us at different life stages, we have parenting students, students that are caregivers, as well as students that may have joined us because they want to shift their career. Being able to provide them with a dedicated academic advisor based on their major is one of our goals, a part of our business plan, and investing in that really helps our students have that centralized support from their advisor and that dedicated support from their advisor. By that way, they're able to go to their advisor, customize their pathway, understand the course schedule and what course is best during which semester based on the student's busy life that they may be leading and other constraints as well. So within that support, we also like to encourage students to really know that peer-to-peer support also helps in their overall academic success in their student journey. So UF Online has an app, and it's called the Student Plaza, where students, faculty, and staff can go within this virtual community. They can discover events that are happening on campus or that are happening virtually as well. And by that way, they're also able to learn from our UF Online ambassadors, which I'll talk about on the next slide as well. But within the Plaza, we really focus on providing those timely updates for students. So we know students have orientation when they join. There may even have an onboarding program for your students as well. But being able to identify the critical touch points in a student semester and a journey and reminding them, hey, midterms are coming up. So being able to, in the Plaza, let them know you have access to peer-to-peer tutoring, contact your academic advisor for additional support, and really reminding them of the resources available to them. Next slide, please, Rachel. So the holistic approach, knowing who our students are, as I mentioned earlier, is really, really important to our efforts, but also making sure that our day-to-day efforts are keeping the student in mind first. So in order to provide equitable access for our online students, we also collaborate with campus partners. So UF libraries, our counseling center, our wellness center as well, making sure that our area in academic strategies and the Central UF Online team are meeting with these partners to let them know who our students are, to let them know what their needs are. So they're able to have that equitable access to the support, resources, and even co-curricular experiences such as studying abroad to increase their sense of belonging. We know will in turn increase their persistence and retention rates as well. So some of those support and resources that I mentioned before, UF libraries, career advising, we've partnered with them to help them identify ways to meet our students where they are. So providing virtual drop-in sessions for resume building, or providing virtual workshops on mental health and wellness is really important for our students to learn about. Our UF Online student ambassadors. So what I spoke about earlier, how we keep our day-to-day efforts student-centric. Our UF Online student ambassadors really help us do that. In 2019, we launched the UF Online Ambassador Program. Our ambassadors, these are paid students who can work 10 to 15 hours every week to host virtual student lounges. We're able to turn to our student ambassadors and say, hey, we have this great idea for this support or this resource. What do you all think about this? And I think that's such an important asset to have a part of our online program, because our student ambassadors, our goal is to have them represent the demographic population of our students. So our student ambassadors are also parenting students. They are also transfer students, first time in college or first generation students. And they're able to use their voice and serve as liaisons between UF Online staff and the student body. And I mentioned on the previous slide, the UF Online app. They also post in the app. By that way, the student voice is up front and center, and students know, oh, okay, so this student ambassador also is taking care of a child while they're in their studies. I'm going to reach out to them to learn how they're managing their schedules or any advice that they have in certain classes or coursework. Another example of equitable access for our students is the UF Online optional fee package. So what this package is, it's totally optional for our UF Online students. It provides them with the opportunity, if they are in the Gainesville area or they live nearby, which many of our students are just maybe a 2-hour drive away or a day trip away, they're able to access all of the services that an in-person or residential student can access as well. So the activity and service fee that includes participating in intramural sports, access to the recreation and fitness facilities, and also full access to the student healthcare center and counseling and wellness center. So this package is, like I mentioned, is totally optional. It also provides students, we get the question a lot, hey, how do I get tickets to the game? Can I come to a UF game? So this package also allows our students to gain access to student sections and discounted pricing. I will say that our PACE students that Dr. Pollard mentioned earlier, they definitely take advantage of this package because they're also able to they're also able to access transportation here in Gainesville for free. So it's a really another great example of how we're providing that equitable access to students, to online students, whether they're here in Gainesville or in another state or country for that matter.
Hey team, my name is Nico Rose. I serve as the Chief Operating Officer and Associate Director here at UF Online. Up until now, Rhiannon and LaKendra have talked to us a bit about the student-centric and holistic model that we deploy here at the university once students are with us. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what the upper portion of the admissions funnel looks like from this perspective of a student-centered, individualized approach. And to kick us off with that, I'm going to start off talking a little bit about Gator Pathways. So Gator Pathways is a network of opportunities specifically made for students to earn their University of Florida bachelor's degree via UF Online through college partners, employer partners, athletic associations, and a wide range of different academic on-ramps to ultimately become a Gator here with us at UF. So as you may or may not be aware, up until about Q3 of last year, most of our different partnership endeavors were outsourced and being handled with an external vendor. Throughout that relationship, it became clear that we needed additional flexibility with us here at UF to create dynamic admission on-ramps that don't always begin with UF as a point of entry. Prior to that point, the way the relationship was structured, if a student wasn't directly admissible to us here at the institution, there really wasn't a clear actionable pathway for them to proceed and ultimately earn that UF degree. Additionally, after a review of our admission metrics over the past few years, it became apparent there was an opportunity to provide previously denied students a clear pathway forward to earn their UF degree here with us, with the caveat being some additional clarity, guidance, and support. Our admissions model here at the institution really follows one of two different pathways really for admission to UF Online. The first pathway really, well, I don't want to say pathway because I can get us a little confused here, but the first admission model that's deployed is for first time in college and lower division transfer students. So those are students with less than 60 earned credits joining us here at UF. And in that particular model, the admission process is highly competitive. It is sometimes relative to the totality of applications that are received within a select period. So at times, the quality of one application is compared to the quality of another. The second option, though, which is where things change a bit, has to do with upper division transfer students, also known as students joining us with 60 or more credits. In that particular model, we deploy a criteria-based approach to determining admission eligibility. So with that criteria-based approach, we're able to very clearly and prescriptively identify what a student needs to successfully gain admission to us here at the university. Additionally, with nearly 50% of our total UF Online headcount being transfer students and 80% of our fully online students, so those are students that apply to us with the intention of doing the entire bachelor's degree online, having a transfer credit record history, it really became clear to us that we really need to figure out a way to clarify and strategically provide support to transfer students as that population continues to grow. The outcome of this entire process was Gator Pathways. So with Gator Pathways, we're able to provide clear and actionable guidance to prospective Gators to earn their UF degree through various on-ramps to the university, including some internal admission pathways such as readmission, UF Online Ready or conditional admission, which are two pathways for qualified students that might just be missing some prereqs. But taking a step past that and also looking at pathways moving forward that include referrals to our academic network of partner institutions, which are shown on the next slide, for them to complete any outstanding prerequisites that they might have, while encouraging them to complete that Associate of Arts degree and then come back and join us here at the institution. In my opinion, one of the strengths of this particular model has to do with the path guide approach that we're deploying here. The path guide essentially is a UF's team member here on our side within the central staff that provides a clear transfer roadmap to students that are interested in leveraging our criteria-based admission model to join us at the institution, and also serves as their direct point of contact throughout their journey at their institution prior to us to ensure that they're on track and positioned for success to ultimately become Gators with us. Since implementation of this program just a short few semesters ago, as well as some co-branded marketing efforts with our partner institutions here on the slide, we have experienced an increase in transfer students from all three of these partner institutions, with the most impressive increase coming from the College of Central Florida, where we saw roughly a 20% increase in transfer students to UF via UF Online this spring 2023 semester compared to that same period 1 year prior in spring 2022. Essentially, as we look ahead, we're excited to continue working on this particular initiative with our partner institutions in the entire state of Florida, as we all work together to increase access and opportunity for learners to UF via UF Online, while also really trying to have that intentional, clear, relationship-oriented approach at the upper part of the admissions funnel to ensure everything remains student-centric. So with that, that really concludes the breadth of information that we wanted to share today. Once again, spanning from the really core involvement of our faculty in the operation and design of the UF Online program, through the different very student-focused and student-centric support and success services that are offered here at the university, both through our central team as well as our campus colleagues. And then finally, a glimpse on how we're really trying to make the upper portion of the admissions funnel as students are going through that consideration process, trying to figure out where's a good fit, where do I go next, as intentional, strategic, clear, and relationship-oriented as possible. So with that, since it's a small group, we're happy to have any conversation on Zoom directly. Additionally, we're happy to answer any questions that y'all might want to put in the chat. I know it's early in the morning on a Friday, and we definitely appreciate you taking your time to be here with us today, especially as the conference wraps up and we all prepare for the weekend ahead. Rhiannon and LaKendra, anything else that you would like to add or throw in?
No, I mean, I think we're good. There's one other thing I guess we should probably mention. It's actually active right now. That one of the other things that we do to really stay student focused is that every year for the past 4 years now, we've done a student experience survey where it's a pretty in-depth questionnaire that we send out to all UF Online students once a year to really kind of hear about their experiences in their own words. It's a lot more in-depth than the student experience surveys we've seen, you know, like for graduation or things like that. Student success surveys they tend to be really high level. We actually ask a lot of questions that get down in the weeds as far as what challenges the students are experiencing, the specific areas where they feel really satisfied or really dissatisfied, and try to get a sense of what could help meet their needs. And then we take that data that we get and we use it to help improve our programs and the services that we offer to students. And we've also started doing a follow-up opportunity with the students. So after they've completed the questionnaire, they have a chance to immediately make an appointment with one of the members of our student success team, where she has in-depth conversations, one-on-one or focus groups with our students. And it's given us some really useful data to understand what are the kinds of things that our students need, and then act in a responsive way to ensure that they're getting those needs met. So that's the only other thing I would add. And as Nico said, happy to have a conversation or take questions if anyone has any.
So, sorry, I do have a question. Hello, everyone. So thank you so much for the presentation. I thought it was really awesome. All the services you are providing, especially with this distance learning. Question in regards to the engagement. I saw someone mention how students can engage with extracurricular activities, such as like intramurals, for example. I think Ms. Cook mentioned that. And basically, you're trying to give the students who are doing the work online to also have engagement with the community. So how do you engage students when it comes to that? How are they aware of what's going on within the campus, different events and things like that?
It's a really great question, Giovanni. So I know one of the touch points that I mentioned was the UF Online Plaza. That is one way that our team and our student ambassadors, we go out and we do the hard work for the students. UF has tons of great websites. Each program has their own website, but helping our students find that in one area, in one location, we go out, we curate those resources, we search the multiple calendars that exist, and we put that all in the plaza. We also use we have a UF Online newsletter. We also use that as a touch point communication for our students to learn about different activities and resources that are available to them. So that's how we engage our students, but also just to know that we recognize that some of our students don't want that level of engagement, and that's okay too. So being able to recognize, hey, you might not want to come to campus, or you might not want to join this event, but we encourage you to take advantage of the support resources. And this is why peer-to-peer tutoring is important, and why you have access to that.
Awesome.
And I think also too, just to echo the amazing work that LaKendra and team do. The UF Online Student Plaza really is just a tremendous resource for these students, and the work that the academic strategies team does, curating all those things and putting everything in one easy to find location that's specifically relevant for this particular student population is something that I don't think is widely done at a lot of other institutions, particularly for distance learners. And I think that's really one of the tremendous points of differentiation for how our program operates and really considers that key student experience component of the journey. And especially with the optional fee package, it's just like LaKendra said, right? Different learners at different life stages. I think there's sometimes this overarching assumption that distance learners do not want to be engaged or connect with what's going on campus. And the reality is, for some, that's absolutely the opposite. We've had UF Online students that have gone on to have leadership positions within UF student government, and all kinds of other opportunities that a residential peer would have done the same thing. So I really, really appreciate how those different involvement opportunities are structured here. And I appreciate that it's flexible from a financial perspective for students to decide if it's something they want, and if they want, they can support those fees. And if not, they don't have to.
Awesome. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
I think it's absolutely amazing. I know when I talked with Dr. Cummings, when she was actually at the beginning, when she was starting to envision all the student support that you were, for the future, to see how it's evolved and the best practices that you are implementing for this is just amazing. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share that with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, is there any other questions sitting in the room for this group?
Wonderful. Well, thanks again, y'all. I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday.
You too.
Likewise. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks.
Hi. That was actually a pretty good conversation.
Yes, that was really insightful, actually.
So much to do, right? And look up to.
Oh gosh, yes. And they're doing it right. I did a whole lot of work with online student support when I was over as the assistant provost for e-learning, and that one-stop shop is so valuable for students, so they don't have to navigate or guess, like what can I be involved in as an online student.
Often they take the wrong courses, or so
Mhm.
great for Go Gators.
I'm sorry I left right when you started to talk, Dr. Brown. I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank you. I know we were hard to coordinate with, and I promise that next year we will be easier to coordinate with. And I just appreciate you being really flexible. So it was very much appreciated. So
It's fine. I feel like you're very important partners with us, and we're definitely very excited about our future. And to be honest, I really want to connect with your team. I've been asked to write a second book on online student support services.
oh, great.
I haven't had time to tackle it. I had hoped to start this spring on that book, but Giovanni has me sidetracked into a grant. So
Sure. Well, I will give our student support team a heads up, because they're awesome and they're growing like wildfire. We just added a new position that's working on the student experience survey, and also she's just started doing, in addition to that survey, she's doing a bunch of Zoom interviews to find out from students, and she said it's been really interesting, and they're very passionate about sharing what they.
wow.
Yeah. So I will give them a heads up though that you might be reaching out when you have time. So,
it's upcoming.
time alone.
You know how they are, though. The state now thinks that we have all this time to just focus on going through certification of our courses.
So much free time. Well, I thank you for, I know it was a lot with the hurricane and everything too. So we look forward to, supporting. And I know that especially, I'm sorry with Dr. Cummings' travel schedules didn't work out, but I know she really values FDLA and being part of this too. So thank you again. And I'll relay to her that it went well and that we're excited to participate again next year. So
and let her know how much we appreciate her.
I will. Thank you. Have a good day. Nice
All
to
right.
meet you, Giovanni. Thanks for attending and your good questions. Have a
Yes,
good
for
day.
sure. Thank you. Bye.
Oh,
All right.
that's- we were just talking, but that's
No
fine.
worries. No, that was good. Yeah, that was actually very insightful to see what they're
me-
doing.
Let me
and
stop
how-
this recording so we can have a good. Where did it go? The recording was on. I know it was.
Yeah, it still says recording.
Yes. Let me stop that. I'm on my little computer. There we go.